Good day, everyone. My name is John Popa Ertahada, and I will be discussing a very important topic we need to learn. For today's discussion, we will be talking about observation techniques and classroom etiquette. As future educators, classroom observation is an important part of understanding how teaching and learning take place. However, effective observation is not simply about watching what happens inside the classroom. We need to know what to observe, how to record what we see, and how we conduct ourselves properly while observing. But before we begin, let me first present our learning objectives for this discussion. And here are our learning objectives. At the end of the discussion, you should be able to explain the various observation techniques and classroom etiquette practices. That's for the knowledge. For the skills, you should be able to perform the various observation techniques and classroom etiquette. And for our attitude, show awareness and appreciation of the different observation techniques and classroom etiquette. These learning objectives focus on three important areas: what we know, what we can do, and how we should behave as future educators. With that, let us begin with our discussion. First, what is classroom observation? Well, classroom observation is a systematic way of examining what happens during teaching and learning. It may focus on broad areas such as classroom management and lesson delivery, or on specific concerns such as learning participation and questioning strategies. For example, an observer may want to know how often does the teacher ask questions? Are learners actively participating? Or how does the teacher manage the class during group activities? By using an appropriate observation method, observers can gather meaningful evidence about what is happening inside the classroom. Therefore, classroom observation is not simply watching. It is a purposeful and systematic process of gathering information. Now, what are observation techniques? Before discussing observation techniques, let us first define observation. What is observation? Well, observation is a purposeful process of paying attention to a particular event or phenomenon, gathering information and documenting it as accurately and objectively as possible in order to understand it. In simple terms, observation is more than merely looking. It involves deliberately paying attention, gathering evidence, and recording what happens. For example, in a classroom, an observer may focus on teaching strategies, learning participation, classroom interactions, or the learning environment. This leads us to observation techniques. Observation techniques are the specific methods used to systematically observe, record, and analyze classroom behaviors, interactions, or events. The important thing to remember is that the appropriate technique depends on what the observer wants to know. And with that, let us now discuss 6 observation techniques. Here are some of the observation techniques. First is the selective verbatim. The first technique is the selective verbatim. This involves recording exactly what is said within a specific category chosen before the observation. For example, if our focus is the teacher's questioning strategy, we record the actual questions asked by the teacher during the lesson. Instead of simply saying, the teacher asked so many questions, we record the specific questions. Therefore, selective verbatim focuses on the exact words spoken. It provides an accurate record of what was actually said during the lesson. This is useful for analyzing specific aspects of communication such as the teacher's questions, feedback, explanation, or students' responses. The second technique is verbal flow. Verbal flow records who talks, with whom during a lesson. Verbal flow helps us identify patterns of communication between the teacher and learners or among the learners themselves. For example, we may observe whether most communication occurs between the teacher and individual students or whether students frequently communicate with one another. So verbal flow focuses on patterns of communication. It helps identify patterns of communication and participation in the classroom. It can show whether interactions is mostly teacher to student or whether students are also communicating and learning from one another. The third technique is ACTAS observation. This focuses on whether learners are engaged in the activity or task assigned by the teachers. For instance, during individual work, the observer may record which learners are working on the assigned activity in which learners are not focused on the task. Therefore, a task observation focuses on learner engagement. It helps determine the level of learners' engagement during an activity. It can show whether students are focused on the assigned task or becoming distracted. Next observation technique is the sampling. Sampling involves recording selected behaviors at regular or predetermined intervals. For example, every 5 minutes, the observer may record whether learners are participating, working, or distracted. Rather than recording everything continuously, the observer collects information at the specific intervals. Therefore, sampling focuses on selected behaviors at predetermined times. It allows observers to collect information about behavior systematically over time without having to record everything that happens continuously. This makes observation more manageable and helps reveal patterns. The fifth classroom technique is class traffic. Class traffic records the physical movement of the teacher and learners during a lesson. It may use a classroom map or seating chart to track movement. For example, during group work, the observer can record which groups the teacher visits. This allows the observer to identify patterns in classroom movement. Therefore, class traffic focuses on physical movement in the classroom. The last classroom technique is called the tally mark. Tally marks are used to record the frequency of specific behaviors or events. Instead of waiting a detailed description on every time something happens, the observer simply makes a mark. For instance, the observer can make one tally every time the teacher asks a question. At the end of the observation, the marks can be counted to determine how many times the behavior occurred. Therefore, tally marks focus on frequency. They provide a simple and efficient way to measure how frequently a behavior occurs. Because behaviors are counted, tally marks can provide more objective numerical evidence. Now, let's make a quick review on what we have discussed about our classroom strategy. The first is letter verbatim. It focuses on the exact words spoken. Next is verbal flow, which answers the question who communicates with whom. At task, it focuses on learner engagement in the assigned tasks. Samplings focuses on the selected behaviors recorded at predetermined intervals. Class traffic observes the physical movement inside the classroom. And lastly, the tally marks, which tells the frequency of specific behaviors. The key point there is that each technique serves a different purpose. We choose the technique based on the information we want to collect during our observation. Now, let us directly proceed to classroom etiquette. Classroom etiquette. This refers to the appropriate behavior and professional practices expected inside the classroom. For observers, proper etiquette helps minimize disruption and maintain respect for both the teacher and the learners. In other words, while gathering information, we must also make sure that our presence does not interfere with teaching and learning. Here are 10 important practices inside the classroom while doing our observation. First is arrive on time. Whenever possible, arrive before the observation begins. If you are late, enter quietly without disrupting the class. Arriving on time shows respect for the teacher, learners, and the observation schedule, and also prevents the observer from missing important parts of the lesson. Next is silence your cell phone. A ringing phone or notification as unnecessary distractions. The third classroom etiquette is follow classroom rules. Respect the teacher's policy and behaviors that we interfere respond appropriately. Otherwise, allow the teacher to conduct the lesson without unnecessary intervention. Appropriate participation allows the observer to respect the teacher's role while still responding when participation is expected. The fifth classroom etiquette is to avoid silent conversations. Unnecessary talking with classmates or other observers can distract learners and interfere with the lesson. Avoiding unnecessary conversation helps maintain learners' concentration and prevents the observer from influencing classroom interactions. The sixth classroom etiquette is to address the teacher appropriately. Use the appropriate professional titles such as sir, ma'am, professor, or doctor, depending on the school context and the teacher's preference. Using an appropriate professional title demonstrates courtesy, respect, and professionalism. Of course. Next is remain attentive. Stay focused on the observation and avoid unrelatable activities. Remember, we are here to observe and learn. Remaining attentive allows the observer to collect accurate and meaningful information. It also communicates respect for the teacher and learners. The next classroom etiquette is to stay for the agreed observation period. Whenever possible, remain until the observation is completed. If you need to leave early, inform the teacher beforehand. Staying for the agreed period ensures that the observer collects sufficient information and respect the observation arrangement. The ninth classroom etiquette is to do not disrupt the class. Avoid unnecessary movements, gestures, conversations, or other actions that may draw attention away from the lesson. Avoiding distractions helps preserve the natural classroom environment. This is particularly important because the observer's behavior can influence a learner's attention and classroom interactions. And for the last and 10th classroom etiquette is communicate when absent. If you cannot attend a scheduled observation, inform the teacher or the person responsible as early as possible. Informing the teacher or responsible person when absent demonstrates responsibility, courtesy, and professionalism. It also allows the teacher to know what happened and when appropriate, make alternative arrangements. And those are some of the classroom observation techniques and classroom etiquette. Now, let us summarize what we have discussed today. We learned that classroom observation is a purposeful and systematic way of gathering information about teaching and learning. We also learned 6 observation techniques: selective verbatim, verbal flow, a task, sampling, class traffic, and tally marks. Each technique has a different purpose, so we should select the method that best matches the information we want to collect. We also discussed 10 classroom etiquette practices that help us remain respectful and professional while observing. And this brings us to our main takeaway. Observation techniques tell us how to collect information, while classroom etiquette tells us how to conduct ourselves while collecting it. As future educators, we should not only know how to observe, we should also know how to observe purposefully, objectively, respectfully, and professionally. So always remember, observe with purpose, record with accuracy, and behave with professionalism. And that ends our discussion. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something valuable today. Goodbye and God bless.